Okay, let's just dive right in. We're going to crack the code on a topic that, let's be honest, can be a little intimidating, MLA ninth edition. But I promise, by the end of this, you'll see it's not some scary rulebook, but actually a really smart system that you can totally master.
Does that little phrase, Works Cited page, send a shiver down your spine? Are you worried about accidentally plagiarizing or losing points over a comma? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. We have all been there.
But what if I told you the big secret to MLA 9 isn't memorizing a million different formats for books, websites, videos, you name it? What if it's all about learning one single, flexible template that you can use for pretty much anything? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to walk through the whole thing, paper format, in-text citations, and the Works Cited page in a way that just makes sense. Ready? Let's get into it. First, before we get to the how, let's talk about the why, because it's actually pretty cool. Think about it like this. Every time you cite a source, you're basically saying, hey, I'm responding to this person's idea. You're showing your reader who you're talking with, and you're building your own credibility in this big, ongoing academic conversation. All right, let's start with the easy stuff. Part 1, just setting up your paper. Seriously, getting the formatting right from the get-go is such an easy win. It makes your work instantly look clean, professional, and ready to be taken seriously. Take a look at this. Let's just focus on the layout. See that top left corner? That's your heading. 4 simple lines, your name, your instructor's name, the course, and the date. Now look at the top right. That's your header. It's just your last name and the page number, and that little guy shows up on every single page. Simple as that. And here's the whole checklist. It's wonderfully simple. 1-inch margins all around. Double space the entire thing, and I mean everything. Use a nice, readable 12-point font. Your title goes right in the center, just below your heading. No bold, no italics, no underline, none of that fancy stuff. And boom, you're done. The stage is set. Okay, now for the part you do while you're writing, the in-text citation. The best way to think about these is like they're little signposts or breadcrumbs. Their only job is to point your reader to the right source on your Works Cited page without bogging down your sentences. So here's the absolute core of it, the author page style. It's super simple. If you mention the author's name in your sentence, like you see on the left, then all you need is the page number in parentheses at the end. But if you don't say the author's name in the sentence, like on the right, you just put their last name and the page number together. That's it. But you're probably thinking, what about websites or videos? They don't have page numbers. And you're right. This is where MLA 9 is really smart. For a web article, you can just use a shortened piece of the title in quotes. And for a video or a podcast, get this, you can use a timestamp. It's the same logic, right? You're just giving your reader the exact signpost they need. And dealing with more than one author is a piece of cake. If there are 2 authors, you just list both their last names. If you've got 3 or more, you just list the first author's name and then add et al., which is really just a fancy Latin shortcut for and the others. See? Super easy to remember. All right, time for the main event, the Works Cited page. Now, I know this is where people get tripped up, but it's also where MLA 9 has this amazing secret weapon, a kind of master key that unlocks how to cite basically anything you can possibly find. And this is it. These are the 9 core elements. Think of this as your universal recipe. For any source, you just go down this list in this order, and you plug in the pieces of information that you have. If your source doesn't have one of these elements, like other contributors, no problem. You just skip it and move to the next one. This is the entire system. Now, the most brilliant part of this whole recipe is element number 3, the container. A container is just the bigger thing that your source is inside of. So an article is inside a journal. The journal is the container. A song is on an album. The album is the container. A single TV episode is part of a series. The series is the container. This one idea is what makes everything else work. So let's see this recipe in action. Here we have a pretty standard journal article. We start with the author, then the title of the source, which is the article's title, and then the title of the container, the journal it was published in. From there, we just fill in the rest of the elements we have, like the number, date, and page numbers. See how that works? We're just filling in the blanks on our list. Okay, but here's where it gets really, really powerful. What happens when your source is in a container that is itself sitting inside another container? This might sound complicated, but the system handles it so elegantly. Check this out, a TV episode on Hulu. So your source is the episode title. Container number 1 is the name of the TV show, Killing Eve. But that show lives somewhere else, right? You watched it on Hulu, so Hulu is container number 2. You just list all the info for the first container, and then you list the info for the second one. The template just expands. It's the same logic, just applied twice. It's brilliant.
So let's boil it all down. Here's your cheat sheet. First, get your paper formatting done. It's an easy win. Second, remember your in-text citations are just simple signposts. Author, page. For videos and podcasts, use timestamps. And the most important thing, those 9 core elements and the idea of containers, that's your universal key to citing anything. Because really, that's what this is all about. Learning MLA isn't just about memorizing rules. It's about learning the language of scholarship. It's how you show respect for other people's ideas and how you confidently add your own voice to the mix. So the only real question left is, now that you speak the language, what conversations are you going to join?